So, welcome back to part two of starting over at 50. And if you missed part one, go ahead back and watch that because that is the foundation for what we're going to talk about going forward. For everyone who's been watching so far, you should have a clear picture of where you're at in your life and what might not be working at this point. So, today we're going to get to the exciting part where you're going to build a vision for your future and how you're going to make that a reality. So, step four is creating your 5 to 10 year vision. Just taking a look at your life and seeing where you want to be in the future. We're not looking back at this point, we're just going to look forward. So, this could be an exercise for you if you want to write some things down, but just think about if money was not an issue, what would you do or where would you be? What would you regret not trying? And just what would make you excited to get up in the morning and go do? And how do you want to be remembered? So just to give you some ideas in your life and some categories that you may want to take a look at your career and your work. What would you rather do versus what you're doing now in your career? Do you do a passion project or something that helps and works on the creative side of you? Would you take a look at your career and maybe change it? Just do something that you always wanted to do. Would you do freelancing or consulting work? How about starting your own business? I can tell you that for many years, that's something that I've wanted to do. I've wanted to have my own business, but made the excuses of I don't have the time, I'm raising my son, I just can't do it. And now it's something that I'm definitely pursuing. So just, whatever makes you happy or gets you excited and what you've been thinking about, what you've had on your mind, consider pursuing that. And consider your current lifestyle. Would you still live in the same place or would you live someplace completely different in another city or another state? I myself have had this goal and have wanted to move to the country for a number of years and had the goal to do that once my son graduated from high school and didn't know how or when or what was going to happen with that and if I would ever be able to do it. But I had the right circumstances come about. I sold my home and I lived in a borough or a small city, but it was getting too busy and crowded, and traffic was busy. And I've just always, wanted peace and quiet and simplicity, and I'm working towards that. I sold my home in a matter of a few days of it being on the market. I got a little bit of money out of it, and I've taken the next step of moving to the country. And friends of mine had a house for rent, and I'm renting that right now and working towards having a house. And it's just been my dream to live in the country and to have a home and a small home and just have, I don't want to say I have a farm, but um, that just gave me chills. But it's something that I've wanted, and I just want peace and quiet and simple and maybe a couple chickens. Um, and just, that's been my dream and my goal, and I'm working towards that. So don't think that you're uh, ever too far away from living your dream or living your goals. You've got to take the next step to do it if you really want it, um, and just believe in yourself. Take a look at how you want to structure your days. How do you want to spend your time? Do you want to travel? If that's something that you want to do, take a look at your relationship, your partner, the person that you spend the most time with. Are you truly happy? Is this somebody that you want to spend that time with? Take a look at that. Take a look at your friendships. Do you have people around you? Um, Great if you've got a couple of friends, which I do. If you've got people, a support network, if you have people around you that make you happy, that you have fun with, that you love spending time with, be around those people, spend time with those kind of people, because it can really be a benefit to your life. Also, take a look at your family relationships. It doesn't, just because they're family, it doesn't mean that, you need to have them in your life. But, if you've got, again, if you've got people in your life that are draining your energy and things like that, just take a look at those relationships and see where you're at and see where you want to be. So, step five, common reinvention paths. An option would be your career. Take a look at what experience you have in your career and, take that somewhere else. If you've dreamed of working another job with that experience, take a look at your options going forward. Entrepreneurship, running a business, take a look at that. If you've always wanted to have your own business, do it. Just, pursue that. See what you have to do to have your own business and what you would do. If you're an educator and you like to teach, provide help to others, and if you have certain skills and you have value to provide to others, go ahead and do that. Take a look into that. If you are a traveler and you like adventure, take a look at places that you've always wanted to go and, pursue that part of your life. If volunteering or mission work is your thing, look into that as well. And, just anything that's going to make you happy. If you want to go back to school, if there's something you always wanted to do and learn, and you've considered going back to school to learning, it's not too late. Go ahead and pursue it. So, step six is our energy and our health. Just taking a look at that part. So, just take a look at your energy throughout the day. How are you feeling? What when you wake up during the day, what's your body feel like? I These days I'm really in tune with that. I seem to be in tune with what I'm feeling when I wake up, and I find that certain days I have more energy than others. I think that's with anybody, but as you get older, I think you notice it a little bit more. You have aches and pains and things like that. So, um, review your emotional energy and what what drives you emotionally and what drains you, what gives you energy on that end. Take a look at your social energy and your needs with that. I know there's days where I don't want to do anything after work. I work a whole day of, 9 to 5 job. I am sitting in front of a desk, but my mental energy is just, it affects me mentally and also affects me physically. And throughout the course of the week, I am limited to what I want to do and what I'm able to do because I'm working full time. So Monday through Friday, I try to limit what I'm doing. Of course, there's times and there's weeks that I have an appointment or two to go to, and that's okay. But I usually reserve my weekends for either spending time with friends or doing things like that. So just be aware of that time and how you're feeling. When you're over 50, you're more aware of your energy and what contributes to it, what helps it, and what makes it worse. So the first thing is movement. Just take care of yourself and make sure you're moving. Don't just sit around. I know with my office job, and I'm in front of a computer all day long. And what I try to do is, getting up first thing in the morning and walking is I try to get as many steps in as I can throughout the day. But morning is the time that I have the most energy to do that, and that helps me with the movement. I try to get out within the course of the day, to go for walks as well. But you've got to keep your body moving, especially as we get older. You can't just sit around because it's not gonna do us any good. There's times where I just want to sit around and not do anything and rest and things like that. But you've got to make yourself. I know when going for a walk in the mornings, a lot of times I've got to make myself do it. I, would rather get up and, go through my morning routine and, drink my tea and watch the news or whatever before I start working. But I've made this walking my routine. You've got to fit it in and you've got to do it you know, to maintain those healthy habits, to stay energized and things like that. Strength training is another thing with, lifting not lifting, super heavy weights, but strength training throughout the week, a few times. And I have my own weights here at home, and I do some strength training. And you've got to keep those muscles strong, especially as we age. So nutrition is another thing. You've got to take care of yourself, especially at this age. I find when I eat better, I feel better. So you've got to make sure. I'm not a nutritionist, but I've read a lot. I've worked with a nutritionist, and I know that protein is definitely a source and something that you need to get throughout the day. Make sure that you're getting enough throughout the course of the day. Make sure you're eating your fruits and vegetables and things like that. Water, make sure you're hydrating. I make sure I'm drinking enough water throughout the course of the day. I try to, I don't have a cup anymore that I fill in a refrigerator with water. So we buy bottled water, and it's important for you to stay hydrated. As far as your meals, make sure you're getting your protein in every meal, and that you are eating right. It's pretty important. Another aspect is sleep. I love my sleep. I like to sleep, and I get in enough sleep, 7 to 9 hours. And if I'm tired, I go to bed early. I know my son makes fun of me and tells me I'm old if I like to go up to bed, or I like to take a shower early at 7 o'clock and crawl into bed and, read or watch TV. And by 9 o'clock, I like to be in bed and falling asleep. So I am up early, and 5:30, even sometimes earlier, but you really need sleep. You've got to get your sleep, and that helps with your energy. Managing your stress is an important part of your life. Find ways to help yourself manage your stress, whether it's meditation. I do like to try to do that. Just deep breathing and things like that. Take some time to be alone, and just breathing, or whatever it is that you do to stay relaxed. And saying no to things that drain your energy. Again, people and activities and things like that. It's okay to say no to those kind of things. You've got to look out for yourself. And common health mistakes and things like that I know, I'm not always perfect, but I try to abide by things in my life that there's things that you just really need to do. You need to, go to your health checkups and things like that, whether it's your family doctor, your primary care physician, your checkups, for your heart health. Make sure you get to your appointments. Make sure, ladies, you do your mammograms. I for one missed my one mammogram a few years ago. It was 2 years, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer. So I can't tell you the importance of getting your yearly mammograms. Make sure you're doing it. Using food or alcohol to cope with stress. I I have to say that I have been guilty of this, and I've tried to manage it, and especially the food right now. Um, there's times where I want to overeat when I'm stressed and things like that. And to be perfectly honest, in the past, I have used alcohol as a coping mechanism um, to push away those feelings and to numb feelings and things that I was going through in life. And it wasn't good. It was a number of years ago that I used to drink on a daily basis, and you know, I had to get it under control because it was starting to affect my life, and it's not a good thing. So just make sure you're managing your stress in your life in other ways. Find people to talk to your friends, go to counseling, or do whatever it is that you have to do to try to manage your stressors, and talk to people about it. I've been in counseling for a number of years, and I can't tell you how helpful it is to every few weeks or once a month to go and talk to somebody who knows me and who I can talk to about my problems and work through it. So just make sure you're managing that part of your life too. Step 7 is a skill development strategy. This is a time in your life where you can work on skills. You can always learn new things. There's so much information on the internet, on YouTube, and things like that, things that you're able to learn. I myself am learning YouTube. I am learning something that I never thought that I would be able to learn just by listening and learning and reading and watching YouTube videos and learning how to do videos and edit videos and things like that, and starting my own business online. And there's so many things online. If there's something that you're interested in learning, go online and do a search for it. I can tell you that there's information out there. Or if it's, if you've got a skill, if you have a skill that you want to learn that you have to go back to school, look into it. And you can do online schooling these days, or go to classes and things like that. These days there's so much so much you can learn and find on the internet as far as education and taking classes online, finding a coach, somebody that can help you through it and help you learn what it is that you're looking to learn. There's so much available. Just go online and look for it. Step 8, if you, create a learning plan for yourself. Choose one skill that you would like to learn and focus on that every week. It's not hard when you break it down into pieces. Don't think that you're going to learn everything at once or try to learn everything at once. It's too overwhelming. And you're probably going to run into some challenges. I know with myself, I doubted myself and whether or not I'd be able to learn new things, but you've got the knowledge and the wisdom of past experiences and things like that. And I can tell you that that you can do it. Imposter syndrome is a real thing where you think you're not good enough, or you know, doing this online thing, I think nobody's going to want to listen to what I have to say. I don't have any skills to provide other people and things like that, and that's not the case. Just believe in yourself. Technology overwhelm is a real thing when we're this age, and I know you've just got to want to learn and take the time to learn it, and you can do it. It's, computers are the thing now, and AI is a thing if you're familiar with that. And I'm learning all of that, and I can tell you, these are skills. If you want to move forward in your life and learn new things, you've got to go with it and learn the computer and learn AI. Everything is so for the future and beneficial. Just take the time to learn it. And another challenge is, finding the time to do that. We all have busy lives, and at this time in my life, I really, I find the time to learn new things, whether it's first thing in the morning before I do my job. Evenings are not so good because I'm normally tired towards the end of the day, but weekends, Saturday and Sunday, I take the time to learn new things and to be on the computer and to film videos and things like that. And you've just got to work it into your schedule. And when you feel as though you have the most energy and you're going to learn at the best time. By now, you should have a clear vision of where you want to go with your health and your skills moving forward. You're probably feeling excited about the change, about the possibility for your future, but also a little overwhelmed at the possibility of change. But I need to tell you that change is hard, and I know that for a fact. Especially with moving, selling my house and moving to a different city, not too far away from where I was, but that was still change. I lived in the same house for a number of years, 20 years, and that was more difficult than I could ever have imagined. So change is hard, but just try to look ahead into the future and know that you're making a change for the good. So, in the final part of the series, we're going to create an action plan and your support network during this process. You're going to take those first crucial steps and also learn about the obstacles and challenges that you may face and how to overcome them. So, write down your 5 to 10 year vision and share that with me in the comments. Also, start with one new health habit this week and choose one skill to focus on for the next 90 days. And I will see you next time for the final video in the series.